I think I know what it is.
Now I understand. I got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Hey, how long we can keep it waiting? And then she was just the answer by 146 minutes waiting. So we'll 10 o'clock. No that can fall the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Oh yeah,
because
true.
when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
What's that? Taking out some recommend to the nursing office. That's how we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time!
Yep.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body.
That's true.
Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway!
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
With that stroller thing.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
It couldn't have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. Then the closer was to get in and move body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Sakura? She may be able to do it. She's strong.
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible
Maybe with that
possible?
stroller thing.
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Nani?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but
Wait,
perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Yeah. Well, he's dead now, right? But there's an X on him. But yet they assume he was still alive. Is it really possible?
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
We did get up
Hifumi
later.
was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Are you saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Let's really guess.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is Hifumi was dead. And you know that surely you heard the body discovered Hifumi's dead body, and that is why.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, that's not right.
Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body. Hifumi's dead body had been, and that is why.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found him, there's a chance he was actually still alive? Are you saying that when we first, there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
There we go.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Yeah, it's definitely.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
A dead body.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means
body.
Even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
I was wondering about that. The body discovery announcement. First time I played was when we found each body in the nurse office. Good memory. Second time was when...
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered. There's a certain amount of time, which means you probably like fast trial to get.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually
Alive.
discovered for the first time.
Damn, his was still alive.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
Damn.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Let's do the show. Who was what? Finding out and show it out. Who needs to laugh?
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved,
Exactly.
other than the change in how it was positioned,
Damn, no.
Shoot!
Well, here's one thing we did. The first time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
but when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong!
Exactly. No, that's wrong.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
Baths were clean afterwards.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
True.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office
Already
trash
played
can.
dead though. I think the trash can the nurse office was. it. It's all blood in it.
I got it! It
Got
was
it.
a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Yep.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty
From the live
Princess,
he
I
was the
think.
He's the one that killed Taka, he was just playing dead.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Oh, he's put.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Bro, if it turns out Hifumi was alive, still alive, I don't know. He was like, kind of dissolved. So Hifumi cleaned his own glasses.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
True.
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse
Yep.
becomes possible, wouldn't you?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No way.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
But he actually died though.
He figured if he was gonna
announcement.
play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
True.
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
But he's dead now though, right? Because the announcement said that so the second body was found.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
So not that it was
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Bro.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact
That's something
pointing
he's
to his
still alive.
involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
He's the one that killed Taka.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't
Taka let
you?
himself get bodied by Hifumi.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? Pants?
Yeah, but it's jiggly.
His pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
On a hole maybe can use to escape. Como can't find us, so tell anyone for now.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... A gun! That's right! Taka! The
Our boy
killer
Taka.
used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Piece of shit.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Hubby! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and
TikTok.
Happy is Hifumi, right? Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, you can't let her get to you.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
TikTok.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was in must have been Happy!
You know bad about it.
Shoot!
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said.
That wasn't either.
Happy had the note, then the person it was in must have been Happy!
But remember what time did it say?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was in must have been Happy! Matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
What I missed?
Happy had the note, then the person it was must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Finally.
No! There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
True.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Oh, tell him that.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He's the one that killed
Down
Taka.
his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
He just wants someone to know from the top.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
How many killed Taka?
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Bro, Hifumi.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
Damn. That way we were able to
When we
pummel
found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
Yeah, damn. I wish we were able to pummel him.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Celeste, maybe?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished. But before we found both bodies in the...
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah.
The hammer.
Because, I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Damn.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
Here's this kid.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have...
Lying around those other rooms.
gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Maybe a replica.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
What that was actually used to kill Hifumi. Which turns the game won't turn into a figure that I'm gonna have to find those too.
kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
No, it's wrong.
Maybe not.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No,
No,
it was something completely
yeah, it was
different.
one of the wooden ones that made them into the Justice Hammer.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Keep looking at Takami.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together
Or
with
it's you, Celeste.
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry
With
out
a
a
note.
murder.
You drew them out with a note.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together, but that's what we thought at first. Spotlight hammer.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the
Well, how
rule
did they
holds
both
true,
do killing?
it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
Right now. The meaning words pattern is that waste my time. Anything that will work initially is context in there somewhere.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this
True.
case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act can, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
That is how the rule was explained.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
No! Come on.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible.
That is how the rule was explained.
But that only really applies if there's, in this case, however, there were two murders.
No, bro.
Based on the rule, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is how the...
But that only really applies. In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
What is wrong?
Shoot!
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is only the one who actually carried out the act can, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that 2 people work together on this.
That is...
But that only really, in this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person is complicit, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate, and assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that...
That is how the rule...
But that only really applies if there's 1 murder. In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Based on the rules that have, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rule holds true.
No,
It's wrong.
got it.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.